For as long as I can remember, music has always had an impact on my life. Whether it is enhancing the mood, reliving memories, or boosting my motivation, I can say music has been a constant. From recording video game soundtracks of my favorite Nintendo games using a cassette recorder, to listening to my dad spin vinyl records for his audience, to eventually pivoting to producing my own content, music has been a constant. But what I didn't realize or really thought about is that music can impact your health. I've always known this intuitively based on how I feel, but today I want to briefly shed some light on some of the research that's been done to demonstrate this impact. First, I will discuss some of the science behind this idea, some of the benefits you might not expect, and then I'll take you inside my own creative process later in the video. Creating music isn't just a fun creative outlet. Research has shown that actively making music, whether you're producing beats, writing lyrics, or playing an instrument, can actually have powerful effects on your mind and body. One major review from the European Journal of Public Health found that active music making boosts cognitive skills, improves mood, and even reduces feelings of loneliness, especially those over 40. Another study in Frontiers in Psychology looked at music creation activities like songwriting and rapping and found it helped people feel more confident, more connected, and more in control of their emotions. And get this, imaging studies show that when we make music, we're lighting up the same parts of our brain that respond to rewards and positive emotion. We're literally rewiring our brains for joy, focus, and emotional resilience. Music isn't just something that we consume, it's something that heals us when we create it and immerse ourselves in the process. For me, music production has become a kind of a mental reset button. It's where I go to process stress, refocus, or just lose myself in a creative flow. Well, not too lost. I actually have to make music, but honestly, while finishing a track is a destination, the journey itself offers many, many benefits. Over the years, I've built my personal studio from the ground up multiple times over, and somehow I know what each piece of gear does and how it fits into the bigger picture. It's a constantly evolving space where I'm always reevaluating what I can do and what I want to do moving forward. Through this creative process, I generally feel like I'm gaining the same mental and emotional benefits that many of the research articles I mentioned earlier describe, whether I end up making a finished track or not. And now, I'd love to show you my own creative process and how I make music. So this is my space where I come to work on music. It's actually kind of a multi-functional room. When I decide I want to make a track, I approach it in different ways depending on if I have an ideal available or have a song already created elsewhere that I want to replicate on this set of gear. So if I'm coming in and I don't have an idea, I generally kind of break it up into four main areas: the rhythm, the melody, the chord structure, and the bass. And I kind of expand out from there based on kind of how I'm feeling, how things are going. Sometimes it's hard to come up with an idea, and sometimes I'm looking for inspiration. And so I'll start with some inspiration, and typically I'll start with the chord structure because it's full, it's layered. A lot of times I'll experiment with harmonies, but I need to first set up the project, so I'm going to do that first. And I'll play this until I land on something that's relatively close that I want to make a loop out of, because the idea is to come up with a basic loop, maybe a 4 or 8 bar loop, and then I'll develop from there. So Okay, so now we got a basic loop going on here. Now I want to play, I'm going to add in the bass. Turn this into a dance, so I'm going to use the ARP. Okay, now that we have the chord structure, we have some bass, and we have a simple melody, I think I'm going to change up the drum pattern a little bit to be a little bit more interesting. Okay, so that's the basic pattern. From there, I usually replicate that pattern to create a song structure. Then I move on to mixing and repeat the process until I'm satisfied. So thank you for watching.